Warriors. This is another exciting episode of Customizing the Clone Wars. This is episode 50, and I am your host, as always, Peak Obi-Wan from Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations on Facebook. And I can't do the show by myself. I also have my co-hosts with me. They are Brian Fulton and Elias Fulton from the Customs for the Kid blog spot. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing okay. Excited. I can't believe we hit 50 episodes.
I know, 50, right? It's awesome. If you haven't seen our show, folks, there's 49 more episodes for you to check out. But yeah, 50. This is great. This is great. We're wrapping up the season 3 finale with Padawan Lost and Wookiee Hunt. And we are talking about it tonight with our guest. Would you like to introduce our guest tonight?
Sure. Luke Sprywalker. He actually did, what was that celebration? Was it 5 or 6 where he did the Jabba's palace diorama? It was 6, right?
6. Yeah, sure was.
Yeah. How you been, man?
Been good. How about you guys?
Great. Really good. Really good. I think the last time we hung out, we did a rant, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Has it gotten better? I don't know. Has it gotten better? We'll see, right?
But I've been hanging out with you guys, watching your show.
That's excellent.
Oh, thanks.
We really appreciate that. We appreciate all of the people that watch our show. Clone Wars is just a big part of the Star Wars community, and I'm amazed how much it's growing. What I mean by that is, did you know that James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, actually has a show called Clone Wars Conversations? Did you hear about this?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I just heard about it. He did his first episode with Anna Graves, the voice.
Anna Graves. That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list.
Yeah, but I'm just amazed how even the people that were involved with the show continue to talk about how exciting this whole story was that was the Clone Wars, right?
Oh, yeah, when you think about it, I mean, it's going to do well with time, I think. I'm already seeing so many people, older guys now, saying, oh, I went back to watch it because I heard all the hype, and now people are getting won over on this show every day.
Yeah, it's true. And even on Netflix, we keep seeing it's going away tomorrow, it's going away the next day, and it never goes away, does it?
When's it supposed to go away again this time? It was in June. Was it the 7th?
It was the 12th or something.
Okay.
No, it wasn't the 12th. It was.
12th would be tomorrow.
It was the 7th. It was the 7th. It was the 7th. I thought.
Yeah, I think it was the 7th also.
But it just keeps saying, it's going to go away. Do you watch it on Netflix at all, Ellie?
I sure do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to go back to those every once in a while and just kind of refresh and kind of pick up new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I started from the beginning again, and I'm up to Landing at Point. I just finished Landing at Point Range, some of my favorite.
Yeah,
that one really hit me hard when I saw that episode for the first time. I was like, holy cow! And
everybody was dying.
It kept you on the edge.
Dropping here constantly.
It sure did. It sure did. And, before we go on, I just want to wish Dave Filoni a happy belated birthday. Just the other day, he was tweeting about his theories on, or debunking the theories. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but have you seen about the wolf? Yeah. Did you
I was very happy to see that because I didn't really like the idea. I love wolves.
Yeah.
And I love Ahsoka. I just didn't like the idea of Ahsoka being a wolf.
Yeah. And he gave us this little piece of art that I'm sharing right now, and I seriously think he's being totally cryptic with this. I still believe that she may turn into an owl or a convery, so they're called, right?
Yeah.
Kind of harkening back to Lady Hawk. Have you ever seen that movie, Spry?
No, I've not.
Lady Hawk. It was a movie in the 80s with Rutger Hauer and what is his name? What's Ferris Bueller's name? Matthew Broderick, right? But the characters, they turned into a hawk or a wolf. And other people have discussed this, but I think this image, if you're seeing this image that I'm sharing right now, it says by Ahsoka, it says not the wolf, but it doesn't say not the owl, right? So who knows? There's a couple things I want to show in these episodes that we're going to talk about today. Like I said, Padawan Lost and Wookiee Hunt, where there's little clues as to her meeting these Condry for the first time, these owls from the Clone Wars, right? So, but before we go on even further, what have you been up to, Ellie? You're a customizer, we know, just like the rest of us. What have you been doing lately, as far as the custom goes?
Well, since we last ran it and everything, the 6-inch line was coming in. I've been eating my words because I've been cherry picking 6-inch figures, customizing those mainly.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too deep into it, but honestly, I went and bought some of the Hasbro 3 3/4 figures, and I took a lot of them back. Just because I didn't like them. A couple of them wouldn't stand up. They keep getting smaller. I'm afraid next year they're going to all be like the tallest figure will be 3 inches tall.
Right.
The hands are tiny and don't hold weapons and stuff. So
right.
I don't know. In my collecting, I've always tried to make, just like you guys, you try to make the best representation you can of a figure. And the 6-inch figures really give you something substantial to start with.
I bet. I've been looking at some of your stuff too. It's just amazing, and I think you've picked up on a great idea that would benefit them. Here I go talking about 6-inch, something you probably thought you'd never hear, but I think you got something where you're picking characters that kind of coincide or have connectivity with other characters that already exist. I think that's a good way for them to go in that line. You know what I'm saying? Because I really like your Lando, the Lando skiff guard. That's amazing. Really great. Really great.
Always working on Jabba's palace stuff.
Yeah, it's a good move. It's a good move. Getting more and more characters in the Jabba scene. So very cool. Very cool. Well, excellent. Well, let's talk about this episode, shall we? Or episodes, I should say. All righty. Let's jump into it. I will share my first screen that I wanted to share. And there it is. This is Felucia. I don't know if you're seeing that. I think you're seeing it. So it's a scene with Felucia at night, right? And very much like The Force Unleashed, it has just these breathtaking views of Felucia. And they're in the middle of a battle. They're trying to take one of the Separatist posts, right? So it's Anakin's troop and the Wolf Pack along the way. And before we go in to the fortune cookie, I'm going to read from the episode guide. It says, Ahsoka is captured by Trandoshans and taken to their moon, Waska. I didn't know that's what the moon was called, where a party of Trandoshans led by Garnak has organized a cruel game. The group releases its prisoners and hunts them down for sport. Ahsoka joins a band of dispirited Jedi younglings who are also being hunted in a battle for survival. Yes, and this is episode 21 in the original season 3, and its original air date was April 1st, 2011. So here we go. Like I said, it says, without humility, courage is a dangerous game. Without humility, courage is a dangerous game. What do you think about that? That's a deep one.
I thought humility, courage is a dangerous game.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't.
I think it has a
don't know.
little
I
bit.
think,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was thinking like if you don't really have like respect and like humbleness enough to like accept the challenge, then you can't really be courageous enough to complete it. If that makes any sense. Maybe
I know. I'm totally with you on that. I have a little bit of that as well, but I'll change it a little bit. I feel like, you know, she's all gung-ho because she's Anakin's Padawan, right? This is Ahsoka we're talking about. But she needs to make sure that she recognizes that she's in trouble. So kind of what you were saying, Elias, but also I think maybe she has to stop and have patience too. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where the humility comes in.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah,
But,
the Padawans are way more reserved and more. They have that humbleness because they've seen so many people who ended up there and what their fates ended up being, and they feel fortunate they made it as far as they did. But about what they were up against, and Ahsoka's going in there all brash because she really doesn't have any idea what she's up against.
That's true.
So luckily they balance each other out because
Very
I think
true.
at that point the Padawans need to have a little bit more fight in them because I think at that point they were so beaten down and they were just running.
Yeah, that's what they said. Dispirited young Jedi younglings, right? Yeah, they just were without hope. But before we get into that, here we are back on Felucia, like I said. And joining both the Wolfpack and the 501st are a familiar character. The what were those characters called? I know Elias knows the name right off the bat, but I cannot remember.
I know, right? I think they were just native Felucians, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they're just
called
Felucians.
Felucians. Like I've looked at encyclopedias. They're just called Felucians as from what I know. Also, I do want to add. I think this episode was like a huge breakthrough in like the animation department. They put like a lot of detail into it, like that world, like where they ended up going, like the Trandoshan homeworld. I think they put a lot of detail into that. And even on Felucia, they added a lot of extra details in like the bugs flying around and like little ants crawling on the plants. I just thought that was really. I thought that was cool that they did that and that they actually put in enough effort to try to make a change and like the animation department make everything a little more detailed than it was before.
Yeah, it was next level, wasn't it? It was next level.
And the lighting as well. You know,
Oh, man.
Definitely.
The bioluminescence, I loved that.
Yeah, for sure. So here we see these guys, and we get to see the Wolfpack in all their glory, and you see you kind of see Wolf back there. I don't have a picture of him, but that's going to lead us into our first custom. This is kind of a phase 2 for Wolf, isn't it? There was a point where we actually got the Wolf figure, but what was different about that Wolf? Do you know? Do you recall, Spry?
I don't.
Well, he had a helmet change, is what happened. So this is the first time we get that newer helmet where he switched the whole look around. And this is my first custom I wanted to share. What I did is I just reversed the helmet. I did a repaint of it, where the gray was where the wolf was, and then the white was what the actual helmet looked like from the existing figure. So I call this kind of his phase 2 helmet, even though we go to more of the season 4 look is a little different, right? Yeah. So anything to add on that, guys? I appreciate it.
Awesome looking figure.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and this is a custom show. If you haven't seen our show, we primarily talk about toys. And since we have the Wolf Pack here going, we have another guy that I wanted to share. Do you know who that trooper's name is by chance? This guy here.
Is that Comet?
It is Comet, and I have a custom of him, but I have a little trivia question for you. Spry, do you know why they wear gray and not maroon?
I did not know why they changed that.
Ooh, I
was-
may actually know the answer to that one.
Well, lay it on us. Lay it on us.
Did it have to do with that one episode when the ship was attacked and they were all like blown out into space and they had those droids going around like
That's
in the
right.
Crusher,
Yep.
crushing
Yeah.
all the escape pods?
That's
It's like
exactly
a
it.
memoriam, right?
Yeah, this is like they're remembering their troops color, where how a police officer will wear that kind of that blue band or that black band across their
It
shield.
was like they retired the color.
Yeah. So that's why you're seeing these characters in that gray outfit, because they retired that color in remembrance of their group, the wolf pack, or
Yeah, because so
the
many
original.
had died.
Yeah, so many had died. So that's why they wear the gray. So that's going to move us into my next custom, which I'd like to share. And that's Comet. Check him out.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the first time I actually did a Comet figure, aside from the one that we got from Hasbro. And he actually has a removable helmet. This was a commission I did for somebody. And I actually made him with a couple scars and whatnot. And I just thought I'd do a little repaint. Repainting goes a long way on some of these figures,
Oh, definitely the clones, especially.
Yeah,
Like with the weathering, and yeah, makes a big difference.
it sure does. It sure does. I think when they're too shiny, they don't feel like they're lived in, like they were in a war. You know what I'm saying?
Shinies.
Yeah, shinies, right? Exactly. I liked it when they originally came out. They had that weird deco on them. It almost made them. It was a little maddening because it almost made them unique to every single clone trooper you bought. You know what I'm saying? In 2008, no one seemed to be alike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this battle, we're getting to it here. They're going to split up. The groups are going to split up and everything, and they do a front attack with their ATSTs, or ATSTs, ATTEs. And I thought this was interesting. Every once in a while, I'll find a new clone trooper. If you're seeing that there, I was so amazed by this guy. Look how cool he is. He kind of has this like a smiley face on his helmet, like a big old smiley face with teeth. And originally, does anybody have the actual Blu-ray box set of the Clone Wars? Anyone?
Which one?
The American version, like the one with the blue cover.
Yeah, I always
Yeah,
wanted
big-
it, but I never got it.
Don't have it either.
Yeah, I do not have it either myself, and I found out that there is an awesome book that comes with that set.
I have
And-
the coffee table size version of that book.
Yeah, but this one, this character is actually in that book, and I just saw this thing, and I'm like, I need that. I need that immediately, because
Yeah.
just all these different cool characters they have in there, these owls and owl-looking characters down there, and like a nub pilot, a 9
Oh,
nub,
that's cool.
all kinds of different weird things. But I found out that this book actually comes with that Clone Wars box set, and the production shot looks like he's a pilot and not a gunner. Definitely one I want to make. This is the inspiration for some of the show's characters that we make. When you see characters like this, I want to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But moving on, we see them split up, and they're all taking their own routes. And Ahsoka senses something in the Felucian woods. She hears this strange noise, and of course we find out what is it. It's a Trandoshan, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So she gets captured, and here she is. You know, the funny thing about this episode, I don't know if you guys have watched this recently, but I don't do this very often, but, you know, the technical aspects of the show, when she gets captured, did you notice her lightsabers fall to the ground? And like,
Yeah.
we don't see where they went or where they came from. I mean, did somebody pick them up, or
Doesn't Wolf or something at some point?
they never show it. They never show
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I just watched the episode to like research this. I didn't see that. She probably had to go to Ilum and make another pair.
I wonder. I really hope that they picked them up. I guess that's the explanation, but they never do explain it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But after she's captured, she finds herself in a cage, and of course Anakin's like, "Where the heck is she?" And he's freaking out, and Plo Koon's like, "We gotta go." But one of the things I really liked is that it started one way and then ended totally in another place.
I like what Plo
You know?
Koon had said to Anakin when Anakin started to lose his school, and he was like, "If you trained her well, she'll be just fine. You have to have faith in your teachings."
Yeah, Anakin, he's always worried and, you know, taking the wrong approach. So it seems.
Yeah, he's a
right?
nervous Nelly.
Yeah, he really is. And then we get to these awesome Trandoshans, and this is after we've seen Bosk on the show. And what do you think, Spry? Would you buy a character like this? Would you buy these Trandoshans if they made them, whether they were realistic or animated or not? Would you buy these characters?
I sure would. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too, man. I really would too.
If
How
they
about
made
you?
I'd buy, several of them and make the other guys.
Yeah, I did buy them. I bought realistic ones from Lucas Clones, and I bought one of the Trandoshans from you. So I already have bought them.
Yeah, let's talk about these guys real quick. So we have the Trandoshans, and they're a little bit there's a lot of differences in them in there. They're a little bit more lizard-like, you know. They have feathers coming off their head, and different types of looks for them. Their outfits, just so cool. Garnak is awesome. I have yet to make this guy, but I would like to get around to him at some point.
They're all really interesting.
Yeah. What did you like? What did you like about them? Here's a sample I have.
Tell us that. I saved that so if I want to get through all of them.
Yeah.
That chart is beautiful.
Yeah, and these are some more of those shots that we told you about on Google. You can just Google any of the images and just find what they're called is assets, illustrations, sketches, screenshots of your characters to get the details right. If you're looking to make customs, how do you go about referencing your customs, Spry?
Just like if I'm going to do Clone Wars, it would be just like this. Otherwise, I have costuming books and mainly books more so than online references, but I also try to get like screen grabs from the film. If it's on the screen. Those are my favorite ways. You don't ever know what's been photoshopped or altered or whatever, just straight off the net. In my opinion, sometimes I get some wrong images, Yeah,
that's true.
But yeah, for Clone stuff, these assets are awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the best way to go a lot of times, just to get you from point A to point B, instead of maybe just guessing, or there every once in a while I'll just try to guess something and I'm like, wow, I was way off. Yeah, references are always nice, but this is one from that reference sheet. His name is Rami. This is a guy that I did based on it was based on the Bosk, the animated Bosk. But what I did is I changed his look a little bit. I changed his head, and I think I used green stuff for this guy. I wasn't quite into the Procreate yet. Have you been using Procreate at all, Spry?
I sure have. Yeah.
How's it been for you?
I love it. I like it a little bit better than green stuff. I still will I've used up all my green stuff, so I hadn't bought it anymore. I really like the Procreate.
Yeah.
I've not reordered any Aves. So all I have is Procreate right now, and I don't mind that.
That's great. How about you, Brian?
I still use everything.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like green stuff a little more because, like, it is a little more brittle than Procreate, but it takes like a little longer to dry, and it's sticky. So whereas if you're working with Procreate, as soon as you get it mixed, you have to put it right on the figure, and you have to work really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the green stuff, it gives me time to work with what I'm doing. So if something goes wrong, or if the tools stretch it out in any weird way, I can fix it if I want to.
Yeah, that is true. You have to change a little bit. You have to redefine the way you sculpt because it is a fast sculpt, very short time using that. But I feel the same way with green stuff too. It's kind of rubbery. It has a rubbery consistency where it's I don't know. I think it's great for
it's a little more durable.
What's that?
It's a little more durable.
Yeah,
green stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that totally. I think it's durable and it holds up pretty well when you put it on. I've used it for capes and cloaks and coats and different types of things, and that's what this was initially. This vest that he's wearing, and then the stuff on his head was green stuff as well. So I wanted to also acknowledge a kind of a kit bash that I did a while back, and this to me says I would buy it realistic, even though I would prefer it in the animated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that we own that one.
Yeah, yeah. This one was fun.
Right here behind us.
Yeah, he was totally a kit bash. I mean, there was only one thing that I did that was.
Here's mostly Joe parts, right?
Yeah, well, you had the Gree parts up there. The only Joe parts that he has are these,
right?
The lower, just the lower legs. Oh yes, the Joe vest, right?
Retaliation vest.
Yeah, so it was a boss character with Gree arms. Then the legs were Luke's snowspeeder pilot. And then the lower portion is where the custom happened. Those are Storm Shadow legs. But the feet fit in there and everything, and just everything snapped together. But I would even take it like this, you hear a lot of toy people talking, we're never going to see the animated stuff again. How do you feel about that?
It bothers me because it was an unfinished collection.
Yeah.
If you go by seasons.
That's true.
And it's just something that would have been nice to see finished in some shape, some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm still at it, just because I just feel like there were characters that would have been nice to see in their animated form and action figure form, and I would have liked to see that continue.
Yeah. It's funny.
A very good hybrid that could lean very strongly in the animated. I really wouldn't even want realistic versions of Clone Wars characters.
Not even if that was all they offered, but they made them. You wouldn't want them, really?
Yeah, I mean they'd be okay, but I wouldn't really care about them.
Oh man!
I mean, the ones that they've done so far, like I've said in previous episodes, they're some of my least favorite figures. Mm-hmm. I think they're novelties, but they do like the Ahsoka in the vintage collection. Ahsoka to me, Ahsoka's animated for the most part in my eyes, and that's how I'm used to seeing her. And so maybe she's reinvented on the big screen. Hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, I never was crazy about the Anakin, the Obi-Wan, or the Ahsoka, and from their Clone Wars in realistic form. I thought they were okay.
How about you, Spry? Did you like them?
I liked them, but I totally see where Brian's coming from. It's not something I can put with the rest of my Clone Wars collection. You know, they
kind of sit by themselves off,
them together. And we, as you can see, we all display everything.
Yeah.
We like putting the figures together in scenes. That's, to us the most visual value and play value. You want to make a scene out of the figures you have. So and take pictures, to share with people. So if you have these, they made like 4 figures. So I have them, but I don't display them anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I did.
They don't fit in with any of my original trilogy stuff, and they don't fit in with Clone Wars look. So it's kind of cool that they do.
Land of Misfit Toys.
It's not something I can display,
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
The lines together,
Yeah, I didn't really see it like that, I guess. I was just kind of hoping maybe there was still hope for more Clone Wars characters. Yeah. I'm just hoping for, the future of Star Wars. Anything would be great. I know what you're saying, though, Darth Daddy.
In a realistic or a mixture, form. I don't think we'll ever get a single animated figure ever again.
Yeah, I'm afraid of this. I believe it's the same. I agree.
And sadly, I'm even wondering about Rebels because there's not really anything coming down.
Yeah, it seems like there might not even be. Fenn Rau might be the last Rebels figure we get.
I wouldn't doubt it. And we've even discussed it a couple times with the Rebels collection. It essentially is a 5 POA collection. There's never been a super articulated Rebels character, so
never.
It would almost seem out of place.
Chopper, the Disney Chopper.
But even in the Disney special, you can't even get that.
No, it's not Hasbro, but
yeah,
but it's a Rebels character.
That's true.
In that scale.
That is true. So.
But that's it.
Yeah.
The Clone Wars line started the most articulation we ever saw in figures because that's where the wrist articulation started.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that was just a beautiful line. I think that's why so many people jumped on board. I originally didn't like the idea that they were moving to an animated line because I was so, hardcore. You're not going to mess with my line.
Right. I was right there with you. I was like, oh, these animated figures look odd. But then you watch.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way I'm getting those. I already spent too much on the other.
And then the shelf happened.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then they became spread out through the room.
Exactly. I think there's power in variety. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why people like Funko are going nuts right now. It's so popular. Do you collect Funko Pops at all, Spry?
I don't.
Yeah, I just started collecting them. Slippery slope.
You fell in the Sarlacc pit. You fell in the Sarlacc pit.
I did. It's terrible. But I love them. They're just so cool. But what I'm getting at is I think they're popular with so many people because of how much variety they have. Just think. Here's my opinion, and me and Brian have talked about this many, many times. Clone Wars, hands down, the #1 toy line for variety. They could have done so many different things with the Clone Wars.
They had options.
Yeah,
galore.
They had options galore. Just tons and tons of things they could have done with.
They still have that option. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to get one of those vulture droids with a hammock in between and a J-bow hood and 2 repurposed droids standing behind him as a little to sell a ship and a few figures? Remember how they did that for a while? Some of those deluxe battle packs. Man, you do something like that. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
The thing, Funko Pop is so diverse. I even think that there's this website that they have for their company. You can just go and ask for a custom made one, and they'll make it for you for just $10.
Nuts.
Hopefully that doesn't put us out of work. Because people are too busy buying their $10 Funko Pops. Who cares about the 3/4 inch?
Yeah, but I look at those and I see the variety, and you could have had this similar variety in the Clone Wars just by making repaints of existing bodies.
Yes.
Saving the money and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in it, and I'll talk about that as we go on through these 2 episodes. So we'll get back into it here. I go off topic every once in a while. Sorry about that. So we find Ahsoka on this planet, and she meets these Padawans, right? These younglings, or they used to be younglings. Maybe they've grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
But this planet, just like Elias had said, is so innovative. It's like this briar patch, this awesome planet of
It's the detail that they put into it.
It was nuts. It was just the roots coming all over the place, and they just manipulated them. They do this whole video on one of the discs, on the season 3 disc, talking about how they utilized one set of the briar patch and then kind of turned it around and manipulated it into this entire 100-acre wood, if you will. And
We have Tarzan too.
yeah, very Tarzan and whatnot. But here we see our younglings, and these are definitely something both Brian and I were hoping to get to at some point. But
I know.
I would have loved to have got these guys.
You're not kidding. That would have been a great battle pack.
Yeah.
and put the Ahsoka in there and give us the opportunity to get that Ahsoka.
Get the hard Ahsoka. You put those 3 and Ahsoka. Oh, that would have sold like hotcakes.
And this is what I was just talking about. You could have made her dirty. You could have made the Ahsoka dirty. Just like that battle pack that had the Obi-Wan in it from the landing.
Yeah, Geonosis one?
Yeah. I mean, he's the same character, only he's repainted, and it's just like there's another character for the collection.
That would have been a great bet. See, I think I wish the way Disney's been releasing really cool stuff. Yeah, that would be like the set we just spoke about. If Disney put something like that out and sold it at the theme park, that would be a cool way to get some of these Clone Wars characters, in an animated form later on in time.
I'm really excited for Disney. I'm glad you keep bringing them up. They are doing big time cool stuff, especially in the Clone Wars.
They're really keeping the Clone Wars live more than anybody. I mean, you look at their releases this year, it was dominated by Clone Wars.
Yeah, and they put that merchant droid in there. Did you get any of that stuff, Ellie?
No, I haven't gotten it yet, but I want to get that droid pack for sure. And I want to get that chopper. That chopper looks awesome.
Oh, that chopper's insane. It's awesome.
He is amazing. Yeah. That's kind of the reason they should just keep this kind of stuff going, because what an effort that was put into that chopper. And that pack that you were just speaking of, the paint jobs are a little bit off, but B plus for effort. I mean, just
it's just really that one droid that was really suffering.
Just that one. I know, Elias, you had done the blue one with the white dome. And do you recall the name of that one?
RSG4?
Where are you getting this? I don't
know, man.
It's an R5. I know that it's an R5, but I don't know the exact number.
That was another missed opportunity with the no square domes on the Clone Wars body. And we have been working on that like crazy, haven't we? Just changing those heads out, putting the pointy one on, putting the square one on.
Or stuck using the traditional stuff. It would be great if they did end up making a animated version of those different heads, but I guess the realistic stuff is passable. My yellow droid, that one, it looks good. I guess that one works really well, but the R5 heads are a little harder to pass.
Yeah, I hear you. But I just love it. I love the idea that we could continue to make these droids, and there will be one towards the end that I want to talk about, an honorable mention, if you will. But before we get into that, this is kind of one of the main things I wanted to talk about tonight, and that is mini rigs and ships. Are you seeing this image that I have up here?
Yeah, this was the mini rig that I was like
We need it.
on your knees at night before you went to bed praying, please make that one, please make that one.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, never
It's so
happened.
true. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is called a hunter pod, right? And this is their kind of their backwoods Jeep, or their outback type of vehicle to go hunt these people, right? And there's even a crane on the front of one of them. Check that thing out. It's got a hook on it with a winch, and it has guns on the side, and they have these excellent paint jobs. How amazing would it have been to have one of these?
All that we needed was one, and then we could have repainted, just bought that one over and over again, repainted it all the different ways.
And like added stuff onto it, because it looks like they're all just like customs. They're all just like the same vehicle, but there's like stuff added on, stuff taken off, stuff that's
Yeah,
been
that's
painted.
right. That's right. Were you going to make one of these, Brian, at some point?
I sure am. Brian, do you have the ability to check your email?
I do. Which account?
Brian Fulton
Gmail?
No.
Oh, the Fulton Bryan one? Ooh,
Yeah.
not without booting us off. Not without
Okay.
losing, because I'm hosting the call. But hold on.
Hosting the
I
call.
could do it through my phone.
Do it through your phone. Awesome. So
Let's proceed through the episode while we post.
And then I could like forward it.
Yeah.
yeah, while you're looking for that, I just want to go in and kind of discuss this. Wow, wouldn't it have been great if we got this? Just this such a cool mini rig. I think there's life in the collection for small ships. Don't you think so, Elias? Still
Yeah.
there?
I definitely do.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be better if they made small ships more affordable, reasonably priced ships? What price point would you put this at? Anybody?
This pod,
Yeah.
I mean, for all like the intricate details, maybe $35 with a few figures.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. $35. If 35, if they did a good job,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'd be able to retail those at that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Ship's
Yeah.
probably 5 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah, it's such a cool pod. Of course, it wouldn't cost that much if you had to custom make one. We won't go into custom prices.
That would be
Yeah, custom ones gets way more.
blowing
try-
$35 out of the water.
Yeah, we try to keep that a little bit private. We don't really discuss pricing wise, because it is customizing is about doing it by hand. I mean, you can speak about this firsthand, Ellie, right?
Yeah, I really wanted this vehicle, and I started to scratch build it, and it could be done scratch built, but there's just a lot of intricate parts that would have taken countless hours. So I've actually hired someone that's going to be digitally designing this, and I've already lined up a person with a really nice new 3D printer, and they've sent me photo samples of things, and there is not a single line in it. It's a resin printer. It's the printer. I don't understand the technology. Don't know. Haven't researched a lot about it because I'm not running one. But
I think it works a lot like a 3D printer, but it's just like a lot more high definition.
In a vat of resin. There have been resin printers for a while that just print on a bed, but this one is actually down in a vat of resin while it prints.
That's interesting.
I've never seen anything like it. But
that is cool. That is cool. Yeah, that is so
it's
neat.
3D modeled. Some parts are going to be, that screen's probably going to be photo etched brass. You can make it new looking. You can bend it up like one of the damaged ones, if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once I get all the parts, I have 2 pressure pots. I've got a Harbor Freight pressure pot set up, that I can cast stuff that's about 8 inches tall, and I've got a new pressure pot that I can cast stuff that's 2 foot tall now. Well, 18 to 20 inches tall now.
That's amazing.
So when I get these parts, it's going to be a process because I'm not directly working with someone that does this for a living. They do it for a living, but they're doing this on the side. And I can tell you guys, it's Hector from FigureWorks.
And the picture that I have on my screen, this is what he's got going so far.
That's what we've got going so far. That's just
pretty good.
Basic shape. I want it to have an option to add lights to it if you want to.
That is
That would
so
be
cool.
awesome.
You just got to figure out where a small battery pack's going to end up going. It may go in the leg.
I've actually worked with LEDs before. It does take up kind of a lot of space. I don't know, maybe you could find a small battery pack, but when I did my Tusken Raider hut diorama, also you should check that out on our website, customforthekid.blogspot.com. I did a lot of work with LEDs to make the fireplaces glow, and that was fun, but it will take up a lot of space.
Very cool.
So trying to figure that detail out, and I'd be totally happy if I could get some lights on that thing.
Do they have any like packs or stuff that like attach to it? Or like maybe in the engine could be the battery pack, or
Ooh.
There's not a lot of if you look at that asset.
I can't see.
There's not a lot.
You see it?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit, but I don't know. Go ahead.
It's not showing anyway.
The grappling hook thing, but really, I hope to make a grappling hook that could retract.
Very cool. Yeah, I always thought it would be cool if they did a new type of toy where, you know how they're always talking about with toys these days, they can't get kids to get engaged with it. Yeah. What if they were partially not built and you actually had to take the time to pull the toy out of the box and
kind of like a model, right?
Yeah, physically build it. Well, maybe it was more of like a snap together, kind of like those Bandai snap together models, like those droids and whatnot. What would you say to something like that if you got a toy? It was fairly inexpensive, but you actually got to build it, like a speeder bike or a pod like this, a hunter pod. If you actually had to physically build it yourself, do you think people would?
I'd prefer a hunter pod over a speeder bike, but I would.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
It would be as intricate as a hunter pod though, because I think a speeder bike would. If the fun of it was to put it together, I think a speeder bike might go too quickly. Because remember the ones that used to like pop apart when you pressed on the pack on the back end, and they'd explode, and then you put them back together. I mean, they go together pretty quickly. At least with the hunter pod, there's a bit more of a challenge, or a few extra steps.
I think that would be a cool aspect, and it would give you the opportunity, and especially, well, let me say this, especially if they give you accessories that are easily added on or taken off, or say you buy a second one and you can make the second one look totally different.
Yeah, that would be
the accessories that come
that would be so cool.
That
would be awesome.
When I make vehicles, that's what I try to do. I try, there's storage boxes, there's different things that can go on and off. That just more playability, and it just makes the whole thing cooler, whole package.
Yeah. Just an idea. I was kicking around that idea the other day, and I was like, how cool would that be? Instead of putting all this, you got that ADACT where it had the connectivity with the phone and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really cool compared to taking pride into building something. And I got a little emergency or something out my window. Hopefully you're not hearing that.
I hear it a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. But I think it would bring kids back in if you were able to build build the pieces, build the speeder bike and have accessories like Ellie was talking about, maybe engine parts or something that went on the
where
side.
you can personalize it.
You can personalize it, right? Things like that. Just something came to mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Came to mind. But let me go back into this. So we look forward to seeing your pod as it gets finished. Are you going to do maybe like a video or a tutorial or anything on that, Spry?
Yeah, I am, and a friend of mine is looking at helping me with a website as well
Cool.
for my cast parts for Outer Rim traders.
There you go.
And I hope that it all coincides together, and it'll be like my first vehicle kit, and it'll be on the website where people can just one click buy it and pay for it. Because currently everything's just through Facebook page.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the way I've done my things too. Mostly through Facebook, Instagram a little bit.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
But to be clear, it'll be a unfinished kit that people will buy. You can pick what accessories you would want, and you would assemble, handful of pieces, probably 8 to 10 pieces, and paint it yourself.
There you go.
Ooh,
Sweet. That sounds good.
Though,
I would do it.
I would.
You know how a lot of them have the eyes? Maybe if you made a sticker of the eyes.
Yeah, that was a thought. The sticker for the eye.
Yeah.
The only problem with painting though is that not everybody really has like the skill level to paint it. Not that I'm doubting people, but like
But that's why you do like
to,
a sticker
you have
for
to
the weird things.
You have to do a really precise line to get something to work. So
It's true.
I think maybe if they sold like variants, because like
What
what I'm seeing, like that asset that Picobi one was showing before, it looked like they were the biggest difference was the color. So if they sold maybe like 3 variants, like each one was like a different
just spray
color.
paint.
Yeah.
And then you stick a couple stickers, like 1 or 2 stickers
That's
on.
true. You can do decals and water slides, things like that. I agree with you. Something I haven't utilized in my day job quite as much as I would like, but yeah, decals would definitely be cool. Water slides would be better. I don't know how and where you get the water slides. We definitely need to get some.
There's programs that you could print them like with your printer actually.
Get paper and print those off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really in cahoots with this episode per se, but I just did the season 6 Doom Trooper blast shield. You know what I'm talking about, referring to? Yeah, Doom Trooper blast shield, and I actually used a. Here, let me see if I can get it. I used a decal for that. If you can see it there.
Oh wow!
That's actually a decal, a vinyl decal that I put underneath the paint, and that's polystyrene is what it is.
That's nice.
Cool.
So I made that crazy shield. The Doom Trooper is holding it.
That's great.
Yeah, weathered it nice.
Yeah. I weathered it. I even put a little piece of plastic from like a cookie pack.
Yeah.
For the clear window and whatnot. But I hear you on the decals, Elias. Definitely having the ability to paint it's a challenge. To get those details just right, and sometimes you can cut corners, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. Right. So let's get back to it, shall we? We'll get back to the show here. So these Hunter Pods, I look forward to hearing about your Hunter Pod project as we go along. We'll get in touch with you again and
definitely
on the show. But another first reveal for this episode, which was awesome, was this guy here, the Snivian, my favorite character. They're referred to as Snaggletooths, right? And he almost looks like Satan too, doesn't he? Zutton. I shouldn't call him Satan. Our buddy will get on me about the way I say my name. My pronunciations, right? I'm feeling a little even keeled tonight. Sorry. Even Peel. Not Yvonne Pell, but even Peel. Okay.
I used to call him Evan PL.
Yeah, I know.
That rubbed off on me, but now I say EVMPR.
You have any?
It drives him crazy when I say Tana V4. That's what I say.
You have any funny pronunciations of names?
No, you said Tantiv. I say Tantavi.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We had a friend get on me last week about saying Yvonne Pell. I called him Yvonne Pell. He's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Yvonne Pell? So, even Peel. I used to say Dr.
Even Peel sounds so, like, corny.
Yeah.
It does sound corny. I like Yvonne.
It sounds like oh, look. You
symmetrically peeled the banana.
Yeah.
Yeah, even peeled. He's even peeled. I don't know. I guess I just lean towards Yvonne Pell because I don't know, because I'm weird or something. I used to say Dr. Envazon for a long time, but
sometimes with Star Wars, you just got to say it the way you want it to be heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you say Ponda Baba's partner's name?
Dr. Evanson.
Yeah, that's what I said.
How do you say it, Spry?
Dr. Evazan.
Evazan? Yeah. I say Evazan. That's what I call him now, because I used to call it Envazan, and I'm like, where's the N? Where's the letter N? So anyway, funny pronunciations of names, but no, this is one of my
favorite. That should be like a YouTube show.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite characters, and this is the first reveal, actually, from the Clone Wars. If you're seeing this image right now, this is a Snivian. As we know, they're called Snaggletooths, right? And
that's one of the coolest ones I've seen.
Yeah, I was blown away by this guy. He was so cool. And then we have that character behind him, and it almost looks like Ventress, right?
Yeah, but isn't she supposed to be like almost like a Cassie Cryer?
I think she's like a
the
J-Bow jumper.
Django jumper. Torellian
jumper.
A Torellian Django jumper, right?
Yeah, and she's that woman is supposed to be one, right?
Yeah. Well, she didn't get very far now, did she? Because both of these
she
people
got X pretty quickly.
She actually made it a little longer than everybody else, though.
Yeah. But the Padawans were the wise ones. They were like, we hide. We don't attack these people because they'll kill us. And I think that's where our fortune cookie comes in. And we see young Darth here. This is his rite of passage. Apparently, this is his father, and he's basically telling him, "You're going to get this kill tonight." And you see the Wookiees in the back. And this room, we'll talk about this room shortly, but this is his night, right? This is his night for the kill. And he goes out, and he's going to he's going to get the ones. He's going to get the Padawan kills, right? But he ends up dead.
He gets impaled.
Yep, he gets killed. So, and then of course Khalifa gets killed as well, doesn't she? Isn't that a great shot?
Happy endings.
Yeah.
Oh man, nobody is safe in the Clone Wars. I've so found as we watch this show. Isn't that true? Isn't that true?
Even Zignot, no matter how many times he comes back, he's never safe.
That's true.
Everyone's saying it's a kid's show, but it's brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
Like, I remember, like,
when you think about it, that's a child being killed.
When I was watching Clone Wars, they actually like put like an X on it, like, your discretion is advised. This show contains violence and brutality. Those of you who are like young viewers, like, skip out. Like, they actually have like a little warning there before they actually play the episode.
When you think about it, that's a child being executed.
Yeah.
Watching Khalifa die.
And I had even discussed what was the episode with the Rhodian Jedi. What is that guy's name?
Follower
Paul, when he gets tortured to death.
Bala Rapal. You know how they played the Clone Wars on Friday nights back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they played it again on Saturday morning. Well, they actually didn't play that episode that Saturday morning because of that scene, because he got killed.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because they said his death was too violent for Saturday morning cartoons or whatever.
That would have been a rerun at that point, though, because, well, I'm trying to think. Wasn't it like later in the seasons? Like it was only like the last season they really started, and only I think when D Squad started.
No, I remember it vividly. And then another instance, and of course you guys remember this one, was in Rookies. Instead of having the edit on the Friday night, they played the one that said, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, you remember that?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Watch your profanity.
Yeah, right. They really did that. You know, they would change it out from Saturday to Friday, and I recall that. But back to this episode, this was the other reason I was talking about the Clone Wars being primed to have so many different variants. There's a little Easter egg in here. Do you see anything worthy of an Easter egg?
Is it the room that they're in? Is it the one from Revenge of the Sith when Anakin misses the briefing? Like he walks in, they're literally turning off the hologram.
That is the war room, but that's not where I was going with this one.
There's a whip on his hand pad. Has that always been there?
Yes, that's it right there. Look at this. Not only did he have a red symbol on his gauntlet, now he has a wolf on the wrist pad. How easy would it have been to remake this figure?
No.
And sell him again, a second Plo Koon instead of
Like a
just
variant.
instead of selling the same Plo Koon over and over again, they were primed for just so many different variants. That's why the Clone Wars.
Plo Koon was a speeder bike one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has the gray gauntlets though.
No, he doesn't.
I really don't. I think that was one that slipped under the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of that, that was what you were talking about earlier, Brian, where he calls Anakin out. He says to Anakin, you got to let her find her own way back. You know,
Yeah.
Anakin doesn't play around. He's like, just say it. You just say what you want to say, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy. So we're going to go into the next episode, and we'll try to get through it here. Sorry, I'm being a little long-winded tonight. Great discussion. It is called Wookiee Hunt, and it's Ahsoka and her comrades remain under attack from Trandoshan hunters on Waska. Can't pronounce that one. When they meet an unexpected new ally, Chewbacca the Wookiee, who is also being hunted. Chewie finds enough parts to make a communicator that can transmit a distress signal, but the Trandoshans are closing in. And our fortune cookie says, a great student is what the teacher hopes to be. What do you think about that?
Well, it's pretty literal. You can't really, there's nothing to really decipher. That's pretty much the straightforward statement.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Spry? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, of course, just talking about the relationship with Ahsoka and Anakin, and Anakin, hopes to be a great Jedi, and of course, as the mentor to Ahsoka, she hopes to be a great Jedi.
Yeah, and I just find even in my workplace, I always want to try to learn something new, even if I feel like I know everything, in my day job, right? We always go into each day thinking that we're a know-it-all or we know the best, and I try to be as humble as I can be, and maybe even learn something from the people that I've taught, Yeah, so here we are. We see that awesome hunter pod again. and it's got the winch on it on the front there, the winch, and the guns and everything, and the bent rack like you're talking about up front. You're definitely going to have to do that in 3D. I don't know how you would do that any other way. That would be a pain. Are you seeing that image there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially
I see those lights. Oh man, what were you going to say?
Ooh.
Are you still? Everybody still there?
Yeah, I thought Brian was getting ready to say something.
Oh, I was
we're-
saying casting that the grill would be difficult because of all the holes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a pressure caster, it might work.
Yeah, but you still have to.
Yeah, I'm looking at the
close
photo
all those holes.
brass. That way, you know, it's stiff. But if you wanna bend it, it'll stay bent and it won't break.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But I love this image because if you can see down in the corner here, there's Ahsoka. There's Ahsoka hiding out. Can you see her there?
Oh yeah, underneath.
Yeah, we can't find her anywhere.
Getting all Spider-Man
right
in there.
Yeah, it's like Where's Waldo, or almost like Predator, right? Have you ever seen Predator?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
classic movie.
So here's my speculation yet again. I'm just going to go back to where we started with Dave Filoni's birthday image. Doesn't this spark up something interesting where she's hanging out with these convri, right? We found out they're called convri, right?
Yeah.
And look at this image. Isn't that amazing that here they are. They hang around this this den that they have or whatever. How convenient that these convri hang out right there where these Jedi people or these force wielders converge, right? What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty cool. Like the coloring though is unique. So they're unique in the sense that there's no coloring like the daughter, like you got from the
Mortis trilogy.
Mortis trilogy episodes. Thank you.
Yeah. What did you think about the Mortis trilogy, Spry?
I really like the Mortis trilogy.
I do too.
Yeah, I loved it. But was it a dream?
Well, I
That's
don't
what
know.
bothered me about it.
Yeah, Brian constantly says that there was no takeaway from it, but I kind of feel like with this image that I'm showing right here, I feel like something changed with Ahsoka. She did die after all in that trilogy, that arc of stories. But she came back, and she came back with something more. So back to that image with Dave Filoni, I kind of feel like maybe she can turn into something. Maybe she can shapeshift, but maybe it's not the wolf. Or I just feel like she's changed. I feel like these things are there for a reason, or maybe not. I don't know. I just think they're there for a reason, for some reason. And
It could be like almost like rites of passage. Like this is kind of, I know this episode is kind of where Ahsoka has to like do things on her
And
own
then, like,
without a master, and
Like
then
on Kieros, like with all like the Zygerians, when she had to like rescue like a ton of her people, you see like a bunch of them. Convri.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Really? When she
the
first-
Oh yeah,
Convris.
the queen.
Yep.
She was surrounded
So
by.
yeah,
she
it
had like
seems
an
like whenever she
entourage.
has like a special moment or
Yeah.
reaches some kind of crossroads or a certain milestone, I guess, in her lifetime, that bird seems to be present.
Yeah. Anything to add, Spry, on the convries, the convri birds?
No.
It's a spirit animal, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. Pretty cool concept, though, Chad.
Yeah. Another kind of nerdy. I'm going to go nerdy for you for a moment. But have you guys ever seen the Harry Potter movie where they can see those thestrals, those dark horses? You know?
I don't know anything about Harry Potter, so explain this to me.
Okay. Well, there's these creatures that only somebody can see with who have seen sorrow in their life or who have seen a death. And I kind of have the same vibe with these convries where they're constantly around, they're around like sorrow or like a force wielder that is in a tough spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that they've come to comfort her.
Yeah, yeah. If anything, they got some kind of force connection because they're always around when the force is out of balance, so it seems. Right. But just some food for thought, I suppose. But there's a asset of the bird. Ever considered making one of these things? Anybody?
I think that would be a better pack-in than some of the guns that we've been getting.
Yeah.
So-
When we started off observing these things, they weren't referred to as convoy. They were referred to as the fat owl.
That's true. That's true. They do say owls. They don't say convoy until Rebels, right?
You said fat owl.
Yeah. Yeah, or Clone Wars bird. I think I found one once. I think when I found this asset, it said Clone Wars bird. Clone Wars bird.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so we meet Chewbacca in this episode, right?
Yeah, it was interesting that they actually called him Peter Mayhew and
Yeah.
filmed him walking, so they got like Chewbacca's gait right, and they actually got his movements the way
And I think like the way they
they needed to be to replicate the original films.
and even like in likeness, when they like translated the actual like suit into this like animated like figure, it worked. Like they really made it look like Chewie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. And we get a whole bunch of crazy things going on. They finally figure out a way to get these guys to come down from their flying fortress or whatever. And you see Jinx here putting the Jedi mind trick on him, right?
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. So, and then you also see, here's another example of great accessories, right?
This would be a cool little kit for somebody to make. If somebody made that and sold that.
Yes, exactly. You know, it can't, imagine this. You have like that backdrop of that brush or whatever it is, and then you have kind of a floor, and it has a couple pegs on it for figures, and then you have this cool whatever it is, the communicator, right? And then it comes with one of those birds. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, what they could even do, I mean, spread all those pieces out over a wave, but if you buy the whole wave, you could assemble that
Almost like a
whole
Build-A-Droid.
communicator. Yeah, almost like a Build-A-Droid. That's so much better than a weapon, you know.
Build a scene, right? Build a scene.
That's what I'd like to see, rather than these bulky things you get with figures.
Oh yeah.
Give us one thing that was actually in a scene, and then with another figure that correlates with it, give us another thing. And then when you put that all together, you have accessories that were actually seen in the scene.
Yeah, that means something that can be used in a diorama or for, actual play. That's, either scene building rather than violent.
I'll say that again. You broke up a little bit. Say that one
Oh,
more
I was
time.
saying it would be better if we got accessories that did scene building than violence building.
Right, with guns. Oh yeah, with guns, right.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely
Right.
get enough guns with characters anyway, because
I like we've gone through. I think like my dad and I like thought back and was like, have they ever sold a figure without a weapon? And we were.
I mean,
like,
they have that,
They really
the
have.
Leia.
Yeah, they've sold a lot of figures without weapons, without guns or anything. But
But I mean, it would be nice if we
Got some.
made it less of a focus in
Yeah.
the accessory, in the bonus accessory
Yeah.
line.
yeah, take note, Hasbro, if you're listening, because having play and display all in one pack would make a
It's
better
better than shooting toys.
toy line. Where you can play and display both in all. But I
Yeah,
totally agree.
As a parent, I'd prefer that over the big weapons.
Yeah, I agree. So this communication device, this was built by Chewbacca to try to get his people to come pick him up. And apparently Ahsoka knows how to speak Wookiee. Somehow she knows. But I guess somebody needs to know how to do it, right?
Oh yeah.
Or we would have been in trouble. We wouldn't have known what Chewbacca was saying to them. Here's another little Easter egg. Check out this Trandoshan. Do you know what this guy's name is? Anybody? Don't cheat now. Don't cheat now. What's this guy's name? His name is Sochek.
Okay.
Is that
Do you
from
know-
Taxi?
You know where that comes from? Sochek?
Taxi?
No, it's from what's the movie with Jeff Bridges, the cult classic.
Starman?
No, the most recent one where he's the dude.
The dude.
Oh, Big Lebowski?
Yes.
That's
So
it.
this character is Sochek. He's based on Walter Sochek's character. He's wearing
That's funny.
He's wearing the vest
Yellow
and
shades?
everything. He has the maroon shirt and he has the shades on and everything.
That's funny.
Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, and sorry for space in there. Yeah, the Big Lebowski. I've seen that several times, but it is such a weird movie. But they base that character off of Walter Sochek. And they came to all different
that's Sugi's ship that you just showed, right?
It is. It
That
is.
Easter egg. That's actually a doll right there. That's a doll that like Nuna had. I guess that's like
That's a ship I wish we got.
It's a Tuca doll.
And I wish we got a Sugi with it.
those
But
things were like the teddy bear of the Star Wars universe.
yeah.
Sure was, and we found out it became a Tuca on the streets of 1313, and then it became a loaf cat, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but with this ship, that is Sugi's ship. We found out that in the episode they had to elongate the ship to make it look like it was more of like a gunship, so that these Wookiees could come down. They didn't have their own ship. I guess they weren't that sophisticated or something. You'd have to watch the video, but they basically bum a ride, right? And there she is. There's Sugi, or as
Check it out, Serapis to the right of her.
Yep, Serapis, and that's actually Tarful, I believe. Only he has a different helmet on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he doesn't have the what are those?
The dreads.
Dreadlocks, yeah. He didn't really look like him, but I was glad they brought in more Wookiees. This almost seems like a weird joke or something. You know, Sugi, Serapis, and Tarful walk into a bar. Oh, man. But we got to love Sugi, too. I think I've made, I don't think, I know. I made her 4 times, and I'm actually working on the 5th version of Sugi. Isn't that crazy?
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really wish they took the time to make this character. And here are some samples of all the different Sugis I've made. This is the first one that I've made. Just real quick, you know that gun that you're working on for your newest Boba Fett, Spry?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? They've never made that EE3 in the 3 3/4 inch scale. They've never made it.
Yeah.
No. Not once. They've never made the Return of the Jedi version of that gun.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know that or not, but
So you made this gun in the picture, huh?
Yeah, that's a custom made gun.
Yep.
It is. Yep. I don't know what I took exactly. I think it was kind of like a Rebel Fleet Trooper blaster with her original gun, but I made it several different ways. I don't know if I pulled it off or not, but I've made that gun several times. I'm shocked they haven't ever made it, but there's another version of her. Check that one out.
That's the one I have, right?
That is yours.
It's a little more streamlined, the hair cleaner. It's like every time you do them, it gets the hair better, huh?
Slightly. Check out that one.
Wow.
There's a little difference. That's more of a hybrid, more of a realistic looking version. I still use Clone Wars parts, utilized different parts, but just little subtle differences. And then there's that one. Look how cool that one is.
Wow. Pad base on that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times I would use the Shakti, head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used a Padme. I think, what was that one? I can't recall, but I use kind of the same parts periodically to make the recipe come to life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, as the Wookiees come down, there's this final confrontation in this game room, and this thing is filled with secret characters and fortune.
Oh, everything, rancors and
everything.
Yeah.
They're pretty much. Go ahead, Spry. What'd you say?
Yeah, he's got the Rancor in the center, the Reek, and the Wampa.
Narglatch? I think they do have a Narglatch head in there.
Yep, there's a Narglatch in there. There's that every single character that we've seen that was a beast assortment, if you will, from the Clone Wars is actually in this.
From season 1, like when they had that Jedi Crash episode, and they ran into the Lurments, they had this like eagle, like lion thingies. You can kind of see like a taxidermy of it on the side.
It's true. It's in there. The only thing I do not recognize are these giant tusks, where they're from. If you're seeing that there, I don't know what those giant tusks.
Do you remember the Rancor that was in the Force Unleashed game that had those giant tusks?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Could they be
from that?
No, those are too big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that Rancor was enormous compared to like Jabba's.
And look what's in the center there. If I'll just keep talking, look what's in the center. A Wampa, exactly. So Ahsoka jumps up there to fight this guy, to fight Garnak.
Ooh. I didn't notice that. There's a cola clawfish. There's like that Rancor, the centerpiece, and then there's two smaller ones. One of them was the what was it? The Reek, and then the other one was a cola clawfish, the thing that was in the cave in Phantom Menace. Yeah,
and we also saw that on Nalhutta as well. That thing that tried to squeeze Obi-Wan, right? And our buddy, what's the Jedi's name?
Quinlan Voss.
Yes, Quinlan Voss. Why am I at a loss for names today?
Because I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on tonight, but at a loss for names tonight. But check these two little Easter eggs out. You see anything special in the background there?
The crystal skull.
The skull, yeah.
Yeah, and that other one is like a
Mando,
it's a Mando something. It's a Mando. It's like an old Republic Mando guard or something, like Mandalore or something. It's like Mandalore's helmet.
Commando.
Yes, that's what it was. Is that from a EU game or something?
I think it's from a comic book.
Comic book. Okay. Yeah. Then we go and get into the EU discussions. Oh boy, look out! Were you a diehard EU fan, Spry?
Not huge. I didn't do a ton of reading, so I wasn't so hardcore into those things.
Yeah, it didn't really bother. We've talked about it before. It didn't really bother me that it had gone away. I always thought that it was up until the Clone Wars, I always thought the EU was just the EU. It was just other stuff. Don't hate me for that comment, folks, but yeah, I don't know. I like EU. I like that they brought Thrawn into it. I like that they're bringing Rook into it. That's cool. Did you hear about that?
I heard about Thrawn, but not what's the last thing you mentioned?
Rook the bodyguard?
Rook the bodyguard. They're bringing Rook in, and he's being voiced by Warwick Davis.
Oh.
Which is really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward
to... I didn't realize you sent me another picture of those hunter pods.
Oh, they just come through?
Yeah, my phone. Hold on.
Yeah, can you pull it up real fast? Maybe check out.
Yeah, I just gotta figure out how
Yeah,
to
we
do
can
so.
check it out together for sure. I was never really a big EU fan, but go ahead and let's see that picture real fast.
Okay, I just gotta pull up the screen share. Okay.
And this
Have you
is
guys seen it?
this is the hunter pod you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is another one of the.
Yeah, go
visual
ahead and
designs.
talk about it real quick.
A little more design work from Hector. Starting to work on the legs that will actually hold it.
Yeah, are the legs gonna fold down? You know, are you gonna have movable parts and everything?
Yep, all down.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Figuring all those details out.
Yeah. You know what you could do for the the Gatling gun? I don't know what you're going to use for it, but GI Joe, one of the most recent GI Joe products, they have this giant Gatling looking gun and it shoots rockets out of it. You could put that on the bottom of it. Yeah. What were you going to use? Were you going to use like old army parts or something?
Honestly, I wanted everything to be something new that we made. I've got a big bin of those GI Joe oversized launching weapons, you know.
Yeah, the one with the blue rockets I was talking about. You know what I'm referring to?
I sure do, because I've used it before on that the big vehicle I built.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I have a couple of those. But I really want this kit to be something that we totally designed, you know, ourselves. And I'm not gonna try to do any like kit bashing with it. I want it to be all original parts that Hector's gonna design, figure out how they move, how they're gonna work together, and then I can say that, you know, we've totally produced it ourselves.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that again. That's just going to be great. I'm looking forward to that. I've been wanting to build that myself. I think there's a lot of life for mini rigs. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Smaller vehicles, it's a lower price point, more people can buy them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's
especially something like that where it's begging to be customized into like multiple variations of that same vehicle.
And variety, exactly, variety. That's what the Hasbro of today. This is pre-2018 TVC coming back. Are we going to get the variety that we once got? I just don't know. And I think that's what this collection is sorely missing these days. I just don't understand why they can't get variety down. It's like they only have the rights to like a couple people's names, you know, main characters, and that's it, you know, and you're just like, what? Are you serious? Come on. Make me a Clone Wars Wookiee. Jeez. Make me Garnak. Give me a Garnak, for goodness sakes. You know, but
sadly, I'm running kind of late. I've got to sadly check out of here.
Yeah.
I'm getting close to the same because of Elias is going to be cutting out.
All right, so we are at the end of the episode anyway.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, Spry. Really appreciate it. Thanks for checking out this episode with us. Anytime you want to come on, man, we certainly love to have you on whenever we can. So where are you at when you're not here? How can we find you and what you're doing?
Yeah, I've had such limited time. My only spot to post on Facebook, you know, it's part of Luke Sprywalker. I'm doing some casting a lot of the parts that I'm creating.
Mm-hmm.
Have some 3 3/4 offerings, 6-inch offerings at Outer Rim Traders on Facebook. And it's pretty much it.
Awesome. Appreciate it. So where can we find you, Brian, when you're not here?
Best place to find me is at the Customs for the Kid blog. From there, you can find us on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel that you're watching us on right now, the Twitter feed, our Tumblr. We're also on Instagram, Google Plus, and Pinterest.
All right, awesome. And when I'm not here, you can find me on Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations on Facebook. And that was my honorable mention back there on the R7G8, but we'll get into it some other time. Thanks again for joining us, folks. You can also find me on Instagram, Peak Obi-Wan Custom Figures. Awesome episode. Take care, everyone.
Good night, everybody, and may the Force be with you.